you think your white-collar job is safe, look at this. Every single person who worked on this floor had their job offshored overseas. In fact, the people who had their jobs offshored actually had to train their own replacements as part of their severance package. And you're just seeing half of one floor. The company that did this offshoring had 8 floors in this building, and I have the task of trying to find new tenants to fill this area. In my opinion, the mistake that these guys made is that they embraced working from home. They didn't realize the gambit that their employer set up for them. When they were working remotely, the employer was able to realize that they could have a person not come to the office and still get similar levels of productivity. But if a person's working remotely in their hometown in America, why not have someone work remotely in a faraway country where the cost is a lot less for the same level of talent? It makes me think back to when people were telling blue-collar guys who were losing their jobs in the coal mines that they should just learn how to code. Well, look at this. What happened to those blue-collar guys can also happen to you.
But at some point, companies are also going to have to figure out ways to cut down on costs if things are becoming too hard, too expensive, or just damn near difficult to do business. Like offshoring was something that I know a lot of people do. I mean, you see a lot of offshoring services that happen in the Philippines, in Nigeria, in all of these cheap countries. They're trying to find ways to cut down on costs. I can say that offshoring is going to be one option that's going to happen. AI is another area that's also going to be attacking us from the other side. It's almost like you're in a boxing ring and you're literally getting knocked from the right and the left side.
So we don't have the capacity.
Because how are you supposed to avoid yourself being replaced by a technology that doesn't make mistakes, or someone who's offshore that is cheaper and can do the exact same work that you're doing? It's not looking good. We definitely need to be at a point where we can actually work hand in hand with AI.
Let me show you guys why layoffs are so rampant today. This is a chart of software development jobs that have been posted on Indeed since February 1st, 2020, the beginning of COVID. At first, people didn't know what to do, and then it dawned on these greedy CEOs they can start building these like remote work productivity apps, and then they started hiring people like crazy. Everybody and their mothers started getting into software engineering. Then COVID ended and a bunch of other stuff happened, and the CEOs got greedy again, and they realized that they gotta cut costs because they irresponsibly overhired. So this happened, all the layoffs. It's starting to taper off over here, and the truth is that this is actually the norm for software development. It's not easy to break into tech. Anyway, what I think is gonna happen is that it's gonna keep flat or maybe recover a little bit, but this is pretty much what we're going to see moving forward.
Now, I know we're looking at more software developer engineering jobs, but more people think that, hey, this is the safest route. But when you think about it, when companies are really going through the toughest times ever, the person who they're paying the most is who they're going to fire. Literally, they'll fire that person first and cover the cost, because probably they're paying him like 200K, maybe more. And at least you'll recover a huge chunk by getting rid of that one person, and then have the remaining software developers do maybe the extra work that one person was doing. That it makes the most sense. Like you get rid of one person, that's literally the paycheck of maybe like 4 guys in one organization.
For those of you that are not in the computer science field or are not up to date on what's going on in the job market, let me just inform you really quick about what's going on. Recent computer science graduates are completely unable to find work as of 2024. You can look up CS Job Market 2024 and you will see hundreds of videos of people rushing to find jobs at markets and meets, computer science majors, all with degrees, unable to find work. Most of the jobs that are unable to get work right now, at one point were promised and poised to be the highest paying computer science jobs, such as senior programmers or certain type of software developers, application developers, and individuals who know specific kinds of programming languages. Recently, NVIDIA's CEO came out and directly said, English will be the main programming language in the future of AI. That is huge. That is huge. Anybody who has learned a programming language within the next 5 years is going to be completely obsolete. So everybody who has a degree in any type of relation or certificate showing that they can program in this specific language will be completely useless. Now, about 10 to 15 years ago, that was the job to get in. Everyone was saying that that's the highest paid job, and they were. The highest paid job was programming. I saw that oversaturated market back in 2015.
Here's a funny story. I used to have a friend who was in computer science, and he guaranteed me that, bro, computer science is probably the last job that would ever get replaced. The last one, because you need programmers to be able to program AI or other software, and it'll always be needed because you can able to tailor it towards what someone needs. But look, bro, AI is able to replace those jobs. Trust me. I'm not trying to say that this is directly related to AI, but I can guarantee you that AI has significantly made this process a lot faster. You're seeing also in the music industry with Sono, how people are able to make their own music. You don't even need a record label, or you don't need a whole music crew to make music anymore. I mean, that's how BBL Drizzy came out to be. But those are creative elements where it does require you to think outside the box. And then all of a sudden now you look at this. Cab drivers are getting replaced with self-driving vehicles. We already see that in California.
San Francisco right now, there are so many cars that are driving themselves, but it is hard to go 3 or 4 or 5 minutes without seeing one of these self-driving cars.
Everything is going to be replaced.
Oh, no.
Telling me I got to go through all this and I might not get a job? Jesus, look how many people are there. Look how many people are there applying. Fresh out of university, college, with almost close to zero experience. Jeez, the competition is stiff, so you definitely need to stand out. And I hate the fact that it has to come down to this, because now we're just like, look at us, we're all fighting against each other, just trying to get that one job position.
The United States job market is fucking cooked. For reference, in the past few months, I've applied to 1,400 jobs on LinkedIn alone.
Jeez.
I've applied to hundreds of jobs on Indeed, hundreds of jobs on the company's direct website, and I've gone around in person to around 100 jobs, giving out my resume
Straight
and
hustle.
having interviews that way. And I'm here to tell you from firsthand experience, it's all a sham. It's a disaster. Hiring managers aren't doing their job, and companies are posting ghost jobs. Oh, not to mention, super profitable companies such as Google are now laying off employees, although they're having record-breaking profits. All well, boomers and people that don't understand on the outside that have a no touch with reality go, oh, you're just not working hard enough. People go and get a job in retail. Look, some of these jobs are minimum wage. I'll go so many times through 3, 4, even 5 rounds of interviews just for them to tell me that I'm not the right candidate for them, and then they'll repost the job. They're saying we're urgently hiring. It's a load of shit.
Like, listen, 90% of getting a job is literally networking. If you're able to know someone who works in the organization, there is a better chance than someone who's not known, or at least you don't happen to know someone inside the business. There's some people who are doing other things just outside of the box to make sure that they can get a better chance of securing that interview at such a time where things are really not looking good. He also mentioned that there were some jobs that could be ghost. I also want to add on to this. There's some jobs that are almost entry-level positions, bare basic positions. And for some reason, they would ask you for the most ridiculous level of experience that you need. And the pay is not even good. And you want me to have more experience? Where am I going to get it from? I need the job to have the experience, but you would give me the job because I have no experience. You remember there was a strike that was happening in the ports in America.
Witnessing the largest port strike that I've seen in my history. 45,000 dock workers, more than 3 dozen ports across the East Coast and Gulf Coast. And negotiations look like they're still at a standstill.
Yeah, anyway, so that was happening. And imagine, these are all people who are striking because they want better wages, they want better conditions for their contracts, etc., etc. But if you realize the bigger picture behind this, what was not really talked about was the fact that if you went across the other side of the world in China, there was literally an entire port being maintained by AI, and very few people were over there just overseeing the work done. Let's check it out. Look, people just overseeing the AI bot doing all the work for them. Look at that. Literally, there's no one driving that right there. A massive port worth trillions of goods are just constantly passing through. No work safe needed. No need for paying wages. These guys can work morning till night. No need for breaks. No need for sleeping or rest. None of that. They just constantly work. And imagine how efficient it is with no mistakes done. And of course, you do have the occasional maintenance that you do to the work, but look how clean it is. This is devastating to someone's career. You have 5 or 6 people here, at least they're getting to understand how to use the AI to improve and still maintain their jobs. But if you're not working hand in hand with it, you're gonna be losing your position, easy. But look how crazy that is.
I'm a longshoreman for LA Long Beach. And LA is fighting against this right here. I'll tell you right now. See that? There's nobody there. Automation. I work at an automated dock. It's no joke. They're losing thousands of jobs. So you got all these machines. Look at all these machines right here. There's no people. They ain't paying no taxes. They ain't paying no money. This is what ILA is fighting about. This all used to be filled with top handlers, UTR drivers, clerks, all this yard. Look how big this yard is, and there ain't hardly any people on this thing. This is what they're fighting about. I work at an automated dock right here, Port of LA, Long Beach. Keep fighting, brothers, keep fighting.
This is in LA. Now you think that's bad? Fine, this is just one isolated example. Let's look at another example where they actually built an entire street using AI.
China just built a 158-kilometer highway using only drones and robots, without any construction workers on site. They used AI drones to scan the highway, capturing detailed imagery to generate a 3D model. Then used that data to help autonomous vehicles for precise road repairs and material use. The vehicles used LiDAR for accurate positioning. The AI was also able to adjust construction work based on weather and traffic. This project was a Chinese company's trial run for AI in road construction. While autonomous vehicles did the main work, humans still played crucial roles, monitoring the process remotely, maintaining the vehicles, and handling emergencies.
These people's positions are being taken away. Imagine just constructing roads. You had another one that's dealing with ports. And now Elon is trying to make a place where now you have robots that are going to be serving you. It's slowly coming, and they're just attacking one niche after the other.
If you're looking for a job right now and feeling discouraged, just know that I applied to 1,623 companies before I got my current job offer. Throughout the whole process, I kept a really detailed list of all my applications, my interviews, everything I did, and I just tallied up a bunch of statistics, and my jaw's on the floor. I cannot believe it. But it may make you feel better if you're feeling really frustrated with the job search right now, so let me share. Okay, I received 795 total rejections. I interviewed with 61 different companies, so 60 of those rejections came after I'd done some kind of interview of sorts. I did 112 total interviews, and the most interviews I did with any single company was 6 rounds, 9 total calls, and I got rejected. I also did 32 total assessments, so this could be like case studies, take-home assignments, coding challenges, and just hypothetically, if you were to assume that each interview was 30 minutes, which many of them were longer, much longer, 112 interviews times 30 minutes, that equates to 56 hours of interviewing. And last thing, the job that I ended up getting was 4 rounds of interviews, each 30 minutes. This is my 3rd full-time corporate job, and I will say I have never ever had to apply to nearly as many jobs in the past. Like the job I had before this, that one I remember being kind of tough to find, and I think I applied to like less than 200. So if you're facing a lot of rejection, you feel like it's endless applications, let this be your motivation, because you just got to put your head down and do the work and you'll see results.
Bruh, it's honestly a numbers game at this point. You really need to be sending a lot of applications. I remember the first time when I was getting into tech, I was just applying to jobs that I felt like sounded good, maybe 1 or 2 here per day. My other homeboy, he was applying to 300 jobs per day, and he would get at least 3 or 4 interviews a week. And I was like, how are you getting interviews like this? And I'm barely getting anyone calling me back in a week. Man told me, bro, it's a numbers game. Just keep applying. He ain't lying. We're getting to a point where we're wondering like, hey, why are there no jobs? And lo and behold, behind closed doors, all of this is happening. All of these inventions are being made to ensure that we can able to automate them. But leave your comments down below and let me know what your thoughts are. Let's have a discussion. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.